guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie, and for those of you who are new, my husband and I are documenting our journey through our IVF and now our first baby, our marriage, our faith. So thank you for clicking on this video. If you like it, if you find it helpful, give it a big thumbs up, click that little subscribe button. Today I'm going to bring you all of my postpartum must-haves right in those first week, and what I had in my hospital bag that I used and what I had in there that I did not use. I filmed that video, but if you are not familiar with our story, I had to be induced early, and so I'll link that video up here. But so this is just I filmed it and then I never got it edited, so it kind of felt like it wasn't worth editing that and putting it out and then making another one to say what I'd used and not. So we're just gonna do it all together. So I have my list of things I had in there, and then we'll go through that. So first of all, I had a checklist from Mommy Labor Nurse. That's just a person on Instagram that I follow. I will link that down below, so if you want to follow her as well. She has lots of freebies for all the trimesters, hospital checklist, all that kind of stuff. So she was great. I loved her account. My husband and I decided to have separate toiletry bags when we went to the hospital. Usually we just combine it when we travel, but we just decided that would be better because he's like, if you're in labor and you're, having contractions, or if they're messing with you or stuff, if I need something, I don't want to have to interrupt and mess with you and ask you questions and stuff. So I thought that was a really great idea. So we just separated everything out. My toiletry bag just had all the basics, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, a brush, hair ties, all that kind of stuff. So one thing that I love that I definitely recommend is chapstick. You always hear people talking about chapstick in their videos. And I brought the Earth Mama nipple butter with me. I think I used this in the hospital. I'm not sure, but definitely I used this in the first, as soon as we got home and as soon as we started breastfeeding. Something else I had is just a little travel pack of makeup wipes. I had makeup on when we went in there, but it was just nice to, once I took all that off, just to, wipe my face off and just make sure I had a clean face in there. The other thing that I had was lotion. So I love this Aveeno, the lavender lotion. This is the only full-size thing that I took. Everything else was travel size, but I loved having this in the hospital with me. But if you've ever been in the hospital, you know that they make you wear those non-skid socks. And for me, the ones that they had in the hospital were awful. They were too big and they just kept falling off my feet. So as soon as we could, I put on the ones that I had, which actually say, "Baby, you're worth it." I got these during our IVF transfer or egg retrieval. I can't remember which one. But if I can remember and find that video, I'll link that up here as well. But I just bought them for that. I had to wear them. Like I said, once I got up to recovery, I could put these on, and these were much better than the hospital ones. The other thing that I would recommend is flip-flops for whenever you take a shower. This is a little bralette from Baobay that's on Instagram as well. I can link that as well. No affiliation or anything, but this just is nice. It's got that real breathable mesh. It's very stretchy. It's easy to pull down if you wanted to breastfeed. And so this is what I had on when we were in labor. I wasn't a fan of just being all exposed, and so I had on this little bralette for birth, and as soon as he was born and we were trying to breastfeed, just whip out the boob and go. And I don't think I brought these to the hospital. I may have brought one, but I just have these other nursing bras from Amazon. I think I got this, and it has 5 in a pack. They're all different colors. They're just very comfy. I love these, and these are what I've been wearing ever since we had him. In the hospital, they also give you these wonderful little mesh panties. I brought the extras home that we had. I did have to request a lot to have smaller sizes brought in. They were bringing in extra large, and they would literally be falling off of me. So make sure that you request and check the sizes whenever they bring them to you. But for me, I didn't mind the mesh panties in the hospital. They were fine. Everything is very new, and you don't know how much you're going to be bleeding and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to wear the other ones that I had brought, because I did get some of these from Amazon. These are great because they've got a thicker band at the top that just helped to keep me supported once we got home. But I didn't want to put any of these on just because I wasn't sure how that recovery was going to go. And I ended up, like I said in the last video, I didn't bleed too terribly much, not like what I thought I was going to. So these would have been just fine inside the hospital as well. The other things that I got that I took to the hospital were these little nursing gowns. So these are tank tops, and it's just got buttons at the top. There 3 I think is all that I do, and it's super easy. I love these things. They're very soft and comfy. So I have that one, and then I also have a red one. I've got a red one in the tank top as well. This one just is actual, has some little cute little cuff sleeves, but this one has no buttons, nothing else. It's just very easy to whip out the boob and go. Something else that I got in the hospital, or had in the hospital, that I loved was from my sister. She got me this really pretty robe from Soma. I love it because the sleeves are not very long, so they weren't getting in the way, and it's just so soft. I wish that you could feel this through the screen because it's just so comfy. I love this thing. So a couple other things just to note that we took with us were our pillows. Hospital pillows, not comfy. Even if you request 6 of them, they're just not comfy. So I used them to like prop myself up and stuff because I did bring my boppy with me, but sometimes we use that, sometimes we just like stuffed pillows underneath my arms and stuff. So I would just recommend for sleeping to have your own pillow with you. And make sure you have a couple of copies if you're doing a birth plan, a wish list, whatever. Make sure you have a couple of copies. I gave my first nurse one and it stayed in my chart the whole time. Every time we got a new nurse, which I went through like 3 or 4 nurses, every single time they would always come in and say something about my birth plan, so I knew that they had checked it before they came into our room, which was really nice. I liked that. So make sure you have extra long phone chargers. Just make sure that that's something that you don't forget, because that is something that we put in last minute. So if that is something, just make a sticky note or something to make sure you put that in there. We got an extra long one for me. My husband had one for him that he just kept by the wall where he was sitting at. I also took my iPad. I never even opened it. So if you have one and you, I don't know, I took it just in case I like got bored at night and I was wanting to read and while my husband was sleeping stuff, but I never even used it. We took our camera. If you saw our birth video, I can link that as well. But if you saw that, I said that I had started to film that day and then it just kind of was boring because my birth and my delivery was very boring in my opinion. But we took it, and one thing I will say is that I wished I had asked the nurses to take pictures of us after delivery, because we don't really have any of me and my husband and Matthew, and I wish that we had gotten some like fresh right whenever he was born. So if that's something that you want and you are looking for, make sure you just ask them for that before everything gets chaotic. So something that might be considered extra is having your baby book with you. So I got this one, just says my baby's first year. I got this from Barnes & Noble, I believe. And it's just, I love it because we got his little footprints in here, and I'm trying to get to that page. I wanted this just to be able to get his footprints in there and not have to worry about that once we got home. So we just showed them what page it was on, and as soon as he was born, they were doing it already on t-shirts, I think, for my husband. And we got the book out and they just very quickly did it. So it was not a big deal at all. If that's something that you like for a keepsake and mementos, just make sure you bring that with you. Again, it's just totally extra. It's just something that I wanted. Something else is snacks. For me, this is like peanut butter crackers, this little trail mix stuff that we get at Costco. These are great even now whenever I'm nursing him or I'm trying to just, mess with him in the mornings and stuff, and I don't have time to like eat a whole breakfast. These are very easy to grab and eat one-handed. That's the keys. But when you're in the hospital and you're trying to, finagle things, and once you get up to recovery, you may have missed that window for lunch or breakfast or dinner or whatnot. And so just make sure you have something that you can be snacking on once you get to recovery and you can eat things again. For me, I think it had been like over 36 hours since I had eaten anything, so I was starving. And I had missed the lunch window by the time we got up to my room. So luckily my husband was able to go out and get me something. But if it had been like midnight or whatnot, like we wouldn't have had anything. So just something to keep in mind. I also created a playlist and I had put it on my husband's phone so that I wouldn't have to worry about any of that on my phone. But that was great once we got ready to start pushing and stuff. We started that because my labor, like I said, wasn't hard, and so I didn't really feel like I needed that like calming stuff. But it was great. All the nurses said that it was just awesome to come in and like hear the worship music that I had put on there and just Christian music, and it was great. So definitely put a playlist, whatever calms you and makes you kind of be a little bit at peace. And the other thing that we have were games. So we brought Uno and dominoes. We love to play dominoes, and so we did that for a couple of hours the first day that we were there, just waiting for everything to kind of get going. And so it was kind of fun, just something to kill time and not have to constantly just be watching more TV shows or movies or whatnot. Okay, so some of these things are extras or things that I had that I just didn't ever actually use. The first thing was gum. That was on the little checklist from that mommy labor nurse. I never even like wanted to use or like have it or anything. So if you are a gum chewer and you think that you might want it, definitely take it. but I never even used it. The other thing that I had was Colace, and I didn't use it because the hospital that I was at was actually providing it for me. So I would definitely take that again just in case, but like I said, mine provided it. Two other extra things, my hair dryer and my straightener never even came close to being used ever. So my hair was up in a ponytail from the time that we got going into labor and from the till we left. So I wouldn't even worry about that if I were you. Another thing is my Yeti cup. I wanted to take it just because it would like distinguish that it was mine, but they give you those big plastic cups and that was totally fine with me. I never even got my Yeti out of my bag, so I won't take it again when and hopefully if we get another baby. Another thing I took was my makeup. I think I took all of my makeup. I won't do that again. Again, never even thought about it until the day we were coming home, and I just threw on a quick little mascara and some concealer, and that was it. I was done. So I wouldn't worry about all of that unless it's just something. If it's for you, then by all means. But for me, concealer and mascara, and I was good to go. Another thing that I wished I had waited to buy or waited to order maybe a little later was the Frida Perry bottle. This is still in the box. I've never even opened it other than to look at it because the bottle that they give you at the hospital is just fine. So I wished I had waited to order this on Amazon so that I could have returned it, but I ordered it really early and now I just have it. So I'll find something to do with this, but it would have been fine without it. Kind of the same, going in the same line. I bought these Tux pads from Walmart, ripped open the box, threw the box away, never even used them. So now I have a little thing of Tux pads for something. The other thing is this is the like lidocaine spray that the hospital gave me. This was just fine. I never needed anything extra. Same thing, I bought the Dermaplast online and bought it too early and then I couldn't return it. So this is great because you can use this for other things. So that's at least the nice thing. It's not gonna go to waste. I didn't need it. So it was just now extra stuff for me. And something else, so I mentioned this in the last video, but this is the ice pack that they give you in the hospital. So you just pop it open. There's like a hard something in here that like once you pop it, it starts releasing all the cold down there. I came home with like 2 or 3 of these. Will I ever use them? I don't know, but these were nice in the hospital. And I wish that I had just left with these and not done anything else. But I ended up ordering these like little gel pads that you can freeze and stuff online. Same thing, I ordered these really early on and I shouldn't have. And like I said in that last video, my doctor kind of said, you know, once you get past like that 2-day mark, you really don't want to keep icing the downstairs area because then it's going to start preventing you from healing. So everybody's situation is different. Please, you know, seek the opinions and stuff of your doctor. But for me, I had a very easy delivery. I did not tear very bad. I think I only had 1 stitch. So my healing was very, very quick and easy. And so I really didn't need to be icing anything more than those 2 days. So just make sure you ask your doctor and what their opinion is on how best to heal you. That is pretty much it for this video. So those are the things I had that I thought were extra, didn't use, used, and all that kind of stuff, and what I've been using kind of in those first couple of weeks. So if you have any other recommendations and stuff that you use that you found helpful, drop those below so other people can take advantage and just kind of compare notes. But if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, click that little subscribe button. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great week. Take care and God bless.